more.
you have left? Alrighty, welcome to the first Roblox Studio Masterclass, a special set of live streams that I am doing with Jay, aka the person that I know who knows the most about Roblox, and me, of course. And we are going to do these, and the intention is to record these live streams and do several of these. So we're going to be doing these for the next couple of days, maybe 2 a day, maybe sometimes more. I don't know, whatever we have time for. Um, and we are going to merge all of this into a Roblox Studio Masterclass that you can take after you have taken my beginner's free course on YouTube. This is also going to be free. There's a lot of free stuff out there. Um, but this is where we take you from the basic to like more intermediate advanced. Okay.
Hmm.
So exactly what we're going to cover, we don't even know yet. We have a good idea what we're going to do today, but it's going to be very much led also by you watching live. So we're going to do a little bit of combination of stuff we already know we want to cover and then requests. So this is, I haven't really seen a course done like this before. Have you, Jay?
Not really. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't.
So this is going to be kind of cool because kind of a live stream, kind of like a podcast, kind of like a video tutorial all in one. So hopefully it's
Hmm.
going to be interesting to record and watch for you. So we are both live streaming this and we are also recording this. So we are just going to wait for just a little bit so that we get some people in. And the way that you want to communicate with us, of course, is we are sending this on YouTube and Twitch. So if you have any questions or any thoughts or anything like that, you want to use the comment section to give us that, and we will see that live. And I'm going to put this thing so that I can keep an eye on this because Jazz is going to be doing most of the work, and I'm going to be kind of doing a lot of the talking. So uh, we at this point we can both start the recording, Jay, on
Yeah.
OBS. Perfect. I've started recording,
Hmm.
and we can do a little this as people do, so that we get a little audio thing on all tracks, so we know how to sync it up later on. But yeah, Jay, do you want to share? Well, we're going to officially start in just a bit, but this is more of the
Hmm.
kind of just talking before.
Hmm.
Can you maybe share with us a little bit about yourself and like what brought you here? How are you, like, where did you start and where are you now?
So, it started off by how everyone starts off, with wanting to make a Roblox game, right? I mean, if you go before that, it was like playing Roblox and, just liking the platform so much to the point where I wanted to make my own Roblox games. And after a couple of years of, just going back and forth and learning, um, I was able to learn more than enough to be able to help other people out in their projects. And I also met you in that same way. And now we're here teaching other people how to do amazing, cool stuff inside of Roblox Studio.
Yes, absolutely. I really only, oh, we got a viewer. Let's see here. We got someone on Twitch. Hey there, Twitch viewer. Feel free to say hi to us in the comments. We are recording this for a course as well that we are going to be releasing. And this is also a live stream. And this is also kind of a Roblox Studio podcast, I guess, 3 in 1. So we want the audience to contribute here. So feel free to send your stuff in the comments. And we have an idea of what we want to cover. This would be the first section in the course, which is kind of, oh, we got another person on YouTube. Hey, YouTube viewer, feel free to say hi to us in the chat. So we are going to be doing several live streams starting today, over the next couple of days, for a total of maybe 4, 5, 6 live streams. I don't know how many yet, but the intention is that we have a little camp coming up in Oslo in a little over than a week. a week and a half. And we're going to have a bunch of kids wanting to learn Roblox Studio with us. I have already created a basics 1 hour beginners course that you can watch on YouTube or Udemy. And after that is where people go, what can we do now? Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? So the answer to all of those things will be this Roblox Studio Masterclass. We might change that name later. So this is going to be a huge thing on a website that the kids can log into and see individual videos together with guides, all of this stuff. For you, who's not a part of this camp, most likely, you will see this as a YouTube video, shorts, different smaller YouTube videos, also on Twitch. So this is going to be pretty exciting because if you are watching right now, you have a chance to be one of the few people who can be a part of this live. So we don't know exactly when we are going to do all these live streams. We're probably going to schedule it a bit ahead of time, like maybe a couple of hours or one day at most. But over the next couple of days, we will be doing a lot of this. So, hey, we got a, I think I know that person, Bet, HSST, Zesh is here. Hey there, I think I've seen you before. But if not, welcome for the first time. We've done a couple of live streams before. So we're going to start in just a bit. But Jay, I'm going to check in with you. You are still recording?
Yes.
And can you check your sound settings for the input level of your Blue Yeti microphone?
Yeah, I already did. Yeah.
It's good?
It's fine. Yeah.
Perfect. You can just have it kind of open, or I guess it's okay, as long as it's because you're kind of going to be showing your whole screen, right? Yeah. So I think what we can do is I can do a very quick intro now that we can use in the video later, and then we can go into your share screen, which I'm going to bring in. Okay. All right. I think I remember you from somewhere, but I don't know where. Oh, cool. I guess I'm popping up on people's feeds. Yeah, you might have seen me. I make some videos that not a lot of people watch, but maybe YouTube recommended you something because of Roblox Studio. Okay. Hello and welcome to this Roblox Studio Masterclass. Working title, it might change by the time you see this. I'm joined here by Jay. Hello, Jay. Good to have you. It's a good.
Thank you.
It's a good thing you're here because if you were not here, this course would be very short. If it would be just based on my knowledge. Hopefully, at this point, you have already seen my beginners Roblox Studio course on YouTube, Udemy, maybe somewhere else. It's about 1 hour long, and it will give you the basics to get started. If you haven't seen that, you want to check that out first. I'm going to put that here somewhere, and then come back to this one. But hopefully, if you're watching this, you can already do the basics in Roblox Studio. You know how to add a part, make it a different color, make it big, small, rotate, all that kind of good stuff. Maybe you've also tried some scripting, lava, changing something so that when you sit on it, you kind of move forward like on a conveyor belt, those type of things, right? But then after that, there's so many things you could do next. What do? Do you do animation? Do you learn more scripting? Do you do terrain editor? Do you do toolbox? So many things. So this hopefully is going to help you figure out what to do. So this is the first section. And this is going to be kind of like the playground section where we're going to do small, tiny things to be like, if we do this, what happens? Because wouldn't you agree that, Jed, that's maybe one of the best ways to learn is that like, I'm just going to kind of experiment and make stuff maybe fail a little bit and see what happens?
Yeah, that is one of the best ways to do it.
There you go.
100%.
So we're going to try to give you not just the knowledge and how to do something, but also how we think as developers who might have a little bit more experience than you. The only difference between us and you, and especially me and Jay in the case of Roblox Studio, is that it's experience. How many hours have you sat down and just tried to work on the thing? Okay, so enough motivational talk for the day. Let's jump right into it. So I'm going to add you to the screen. There we go. And so I'm going to kind of like do a little bit of the talking this time. Hopefully you can take over a little bit later when the advanced topics comes. But we're going to like refresh the memory of people so that if it's been a little while, you can get right into it. So, and correct me if I'm saying something wrong, of course. I'm going to put myself on the left side. There we go. Okay, so we got Roblox Studio here, which is a free program that anyone can use in the world. And all you need is a Roblox account, which is also free. So this is where you can actually start building games. You probably already know that if you're watching this. And what we have here is your place where everything happens. It's pretty simple with a spawn location where you spawn. And then there's like a base plate, you can say, right? Which is where you can run around. That's pretty much it. And let's start off with this. Does the base plate end at some point? So when if you go on to the end of the Earth, is this a flat Earth that you can fall out of?
Well, it does end, but
Mhm.
it ends really far away. As you can see, I've been
Okay.
going on for about, yeah, a couple
Ah,
of
there we go.
seconds.
Okay. So technically, you could run here and then fall off at the edge of the Earth.
Yes, you
Okay.
could.
Perfect. I know a lot of kids are wondering about this. If you're zooming out here, you see that this is actually a kind of a block in itself. Okay.
Hmm.
Very nice. And then we have on the top, we have the menu, of course, right? You've seen that already. You've already used that. And we're pretty familiar with that stuff from the beginner's course. But this is where we move more into the right area of the screen, which is the Explorer and properties, which for most of the part that you saw in my course, we didn't use that because it's a little bit too advanced, a little bit scary. But this is where we're going to get into that stuff as well. So if you don't know exactly what they do, this is a great place to start learning about that. And then at the very end that you can see is the output, where you can actually see some stuff that only you as the programmer see. And that's going to be super important for us because now that we're real programmers early in our careers, we can actually write some messages to see if something happens at the right time or not. Something also called debugging. This is only what we see, but we can write messages for us and also communicate with other programmers. Super, super important that we also didn't get to see in the first course that you did with me, but we're going to dive into that good stuff now. We got more viewers joining us. We went up quite a bit. The HyperGod24, hello there. We are doing a masterclass, which is a set of live streams we're doing starting now and for the next couple of days. So you got us at a good time because we're going to do several of these live streams that later on are going to be merged into one huge big course that you can enjoy on YouTube. But if you're watching right now live, you're part of making this thing. So you can give us comments live. Okay, enough talking. Let's get into it. So let's start super simple, Jack, and let's
Hmm.
just refresh the memory of the viewer by adding a little part, which I think if you're watching this, you can even try to do by yourself first. So we're just going to go up there, add a little part, and as we remember, we can scale it up, right? We've got the tools on the top left, but let's show the people how to maybe scale stuff using the properties panel on the right instead of using the mouse.
Hmm.
And then you can take over here, Jay. So where do we go?
So we go over to the properties tab, and we have to ensure that we select this part, obviously, because if I don't have this selected, you're going to see nothing inside of the
Mhm.
properties tab. And one way I can do that is just by hovering over the item and clicking on it. And if you can't hover over it, say for example, you can't click on it, you can not click on it, you have to go over here and make sure that the select tool is activated. And once that is activated, you'll be able to hover over it and just select this part. And now you'll see a bunch of properties show up. And you might already be able to guess what these properties are related to. Obviously, it's the part itself. You can tell that this is the color that the part has right now. And if I change the color, it's going to allow me to, change it directly from the properties tab. But what we want to change right now is the size, right? So if you scroll down, you'll find something called size, which is going to be instead of transform. So if it's like this, just expand this and you'll eventually see size. And just like we have three options right here, three colors right here, we have three numbers right here. So if I change the green size, the green using the green circle, you notice that the number changes on the right here as well, right? And I can do the same thing. You notice that the blue circle is for the number at the end and the red one is for the first number. So what we can do is we can just set it manually for ourselves. So let's try to make this the same size as the base plate, right? And the base plate is about one stud tall and about 10 studs wide and 10 studs, wide on the other side as well. So if we do this, you'll notice that now it's pretty much almost the same size, not exactly the same size as the base plate. So that's how you can change like different settings and properties of an object inside of the properties panel.
Perfect. Okay, so Scothe XD is asking, is this your stream or your students? Well, actually, it's interesting. I mean, Hodak Camps is the company that I started, but Jay has been helping me since last year. And he has his own. He recently started streaming by himself as well. Maybe we can share your links later on in the video, maybe towards the end, so you can go, follow him directly. But if it looks like I'm the teacher and he's the student, it's a little bit deceiving because he's yet much younger than me. But it's actually the other way. I'm the student and he's my teacher because he knows a lot more Roblox Studio than me. So I hope that answered your question.
And I think I saw Scathe XD yesterday in my live stream.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's awesome. So that's maybe that's why he's also asking, or she, I guess. I don't know. And one thing I wanna just pause and appreciate here is that when you there you go. Nice. Uh, so just take a moment to appreciate that Jaya was able to write numbers in the properties panel, and that changed the visual thing that you see, the user sees. So, and that is something that I'm going to come back to over and over again, because we look at screens running Netflix and video games, and it's so visual and immersive. But remember, at the end of the day, it's all text and numbers. And at the end of the day, like very low level, it's all like electrical impulses in your computer or a server or something like that, right? It's just ones and zeros. But even now, we're able to go from number to something very visual. This is a very important thing to understand as you get into your programmer's journey, because this is a mapping that we're creating in our brains. So we got this working, Jaya. Let's try actually changing it. So if we can go into adding a little script to this, and then let's do it through that actually. So you just right clicked on that and then added a script, right?
I just hovered over the part and it gave me this like add button right over here. And if you click on it, it's automatically going to let you search through the different objects that you can add. And just typed in script, but script is also one of the first options.
Perfect. And I know at this point, the people watching are thinking, oh my gosh, there's so many things. Can you just give us a little 30-second, like what other things can we look forward to? Script is one of them. What other things can you say? Maybe a couple.
One of the things that we can look forward to is adding a decal to a part so that we can, add a specific kind of image to make, whatever we want to make. And in later, like in, after a couple of live streams, I'll show you guys how to add a UI to an object. So there will be a complete like interactable UI with buttons maybe or something like that. But you can add that. You can also add a click detector to make it so that you can script the part where you can click it and it does something instead of, just going over it and touching it. You can also add a drag detector and you'll be able to drag the part just like that, and those are some of the things that you can look forward to.
Awesome. Sounds
regarding great. Yeah.
Now, so I see as a beginner in the Explorer that there's a part and it has a certain icon, which is like a cube. And then there's a little bit of space and inside of it is the script. Would that mean that the script is inside the part, or how does that work?
Yes, the script is inside the part. So if you want to get to that script, right, you first of all have to find the part, and then you'll notice that the script is inside of the part. So yeah, that's how you navigate to the script.
Perfect. So could you say that the script is a child of the part?
Yes, the script is a child of the part, and the parent of the script is the part.
Okay. Very cool. I don't know why I randomly mentioned that very strategically before the first line of code that you're going to write. But let's
Mm-hmm.
now try to make it so that we change the color that you set to be red to
Mm-hmm.
something else when we
Yeah.
start.
Mm-hmm. So first of all, you have to reference the part and put it inside of a variable, and you could call this variable anything, um, you know, anything. And
Perfect.
as you said, the script is a child of the part, and the parent of the script is the part itself. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting the parent of the script, and in that logical deduction, we've gotten the part and we've stored it inside of this variable.
Mm.
Now, what I can do is I can use this part, and if I press dot, it's going to give me a bunch of other properties that I can change.
Hmm.
And these are the same properties that you'll see in the properties tab right here. But for now, we'll keep it simple. So you said we changed the brick color, right?
Hmm.
And so for that, I'm going to type in dot brick color, which is equal to brick color dot new. And then we can select a specific color for this brick, right?
Mm.
Like cyan.
Hmm.
And now if we test it out, so we're going to go back to the place. Right now it's red, and I haven't done anything except script it, right?
Hmm.
And all I'm going to do is click on play. And now you'll notice that the
Whoa.
color changed automatically,
Hmm.
before I even did anything. And to make it more visual, I'm going to add a wait here for about 5 seconds, let's say.
Hmm.
And if I click on play again, you'll notice it's red, and then it's going to wait for a couple of seconds, and now it's cyan.
Perfect. Okay, so we're I know it's not super interesting right now, but this is how a programmer thinks. This is how I think, and I've been programming for when I started, it was more than 20 years ago, but I'm still quite new to Roblox Studio, right? It's I started last year basically. So the way that I look at a new program is kind of like this. Like let me try some small stuff. So we have an output thingy here, right? Close to us. So let's, after we change it, let's wait
Mm-hmm.
another 1 second and let's try to print. Wait, did it actually work? Question mark.
Mm-hmm. So to do that, we have something called print.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically um, a little function inside of Roblox Studio, which tells the script to put whatever's in between these two brackets inside of the output. So I'm going to type in, let's say, um, did this actually work? And there's a reason that I'm putting this sentence inside of these quotation marks, because if I didn't put them inside of these quotation marks, it wouldn't work. It would think that this is a variable, it's going to be confused. For now,
Yeah,
let's keep it simple. It's
exactly.
just
Is it a
quotation marks.
variable? Is it a function? Is it a what? You have to be very specific when talking to computers. One thing one means one thing only.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And so now that I've put this here, what the code should do is it should go one by one. So it's going to read get the part. It's going to wait 5 seconds. It's going to assign the brick color. It's going to change the color of the part, and then it's going to wait 1 second, and then it's going to print this. So it's like step by step thing, right? So let's test it
Awesome.
out.
Alrighty.
And yeah, and there we go. And it also changed
There
it,
you go.
waited for 1 second, and now it printed this
Yes.
sentence that we put inside.
Perfect. Very nice. Scathe says, yes, essentially the computer is always right. It runs what you've input. Yeah, that's kind of true. Like it's only going to do what you asked it to, and only that. So if it's not doing exactly what you've asked it to, then you probably didn't ask it what you think you asked it. So it's like we gotta stop thinking like humans, where one word can mean 100 different words depending on the context and where who are you with and all that stuff. But computer, it's only one thing, right? So we gotta start thinking like machines as well, or like programmers rather. Okay, so we got this thing working, and let's actually go a little bit into the properties even a bit more. So
Mm-hmm.
why don't we try to, instead of changing the color only, let's change the color, but also do something like put the opacity to be 50%. So it looks like
Mm-hmm.
kind of see through. That's also something
Mm-hmm.
that's very popular in Roblox games, right? Especially when you have like like a block that you can kind of fall through, or maybe not
Mm-hmm.
fall through. It wants to trick you into thinking it is. So let's
Mm-hmm.
see. So let's just mess around with a couple more things that are pretty popular.
So first of all, I'm going to show you the property that's responsible for how see-through a part is. And that is called transparency. And you might know it as opacity, but in Roblox Studio, it's called transparency.
Hmm.
And if I click on this part, you'll notice that it's one of the first properties that shows up, right? And it's right now it's set to 0. That means there's 0 see-through whatever setting on this part. So there's 0 transparency. If I turn it all the way up to 1, it disappears. The part is still there, but it's completely see-through. That means it's completely gone. So let's say we want to make it about zero point 0.7 after we print this statement, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to set it to 0 because we want it to be completely visible in the beginning. And what I'm going to do is after we print that this actually work, I'm going to get the part again, so with the same variable, and then I'm going to access the transparency just like we did the brick color. And instead of having to, use this brick color.new, we can just assign it a number. So let's say 0.7 right over here, and we'll just do 0.7 so it's more understandable for everyone. And now if I click play, so it's going to turn cyan, and then it's going to print the statement, and then it's going to turn a little bit see-through, as you can see. So this is completely done and finished. And you can change other properties too, like the transparency. So let's go for something very, very simple as well. So right now, I'm going to place this part in the air. So I can do that by moving it a little bit further up, right? And there's one specific property that's very simple to change as well, which is can collide. So right now, the part is visible. I can go on top of it. And before we do that, I got to make sure that this part is anchored. And I'm going to do that through the properties tab too. So let's go through the properties and find the anchored property. So there it is, part anchored. And right now, this square, you see it's empty. If I click on it, it's going to be true. It's going to be active. So that means that this part is going to stay where it's supposed to stay at. It's not going to move, and it's not going to interact with any other physical, objects unless I tell it to, right? So I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to change the anchored property, okay? And so let's go wait and 1. So just to show you that you can change the anchor property inside of the script as well, I'm going to do that. And there. So now it should change from cyan to that, and it falls down, right? So that's just one way of using another property. And we're going to do the same thing. But instead, I'm going to show you another property that we can change, which is can collide, right? So if you go down, you look at the properties, right? So this is basically just messing around, right? Messing around with the properties and seeing what you can change. And essentially the idea is that you can change everything through a script. You don't even need to touch the properties tab, but almost everything. Now there's some things you cannot change, but that's a little bit more for later. So let's go over can collide. So what does can collide do? Can collide basically makes it so that if I touch this part, it's going to interact with me as if it is a physical object. If I turn this off, this part is going to act like a ghost, and I can run through it no matter what I do. It's not going to detect my physical presence, and it's just going to be there visually, and I won't be able to interact with it. So for right now, I'm going to turn it on, but after the part turns transparent, I'm going to also make it so that you can fall through it. So I'm going to get the can collide property from the part, just like I did with the anchored, and I'm going to make it true. And I'm going to remove this because I want to be able to test it. I want to be able to jump on it. in the air, right? So let's go back and now let's test it. So now I'm able to jump on it. It's fine, but suddenly it's going to turn cyan and it did not work. Hold on. That's because I turned the can collide to true instead of false. So that's an example of debugging right there. You know, I wanted to do something, but it didn't happen. And we go back, we check the script, and it appears to be that I put the wrong value right over here, right? So we set it to true. It's going to make it so that you can collide with the part. But if we make it false, that means we cannot collide with it anymore. So let's go back and let's test it out. So I can jump on it. It's all good. And then suddenly it turned cyan and transparent and I fell right through it. So that's how we access the properties of, you know, certain objects, in this case, parts, inside of a script and change them according to when we want to change them. And also, you know, make a lot of cool stuff just with a couple of basic items.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jay, and also thank you, Imp Type, for for making that little comment. I don't think he's paying attention. He looks distracted. The reason I looked distracted is because I am checking that things are being recorded well or not, because we're still kind of experimenting with this new setup, which took us a very long time to even get here. So I'm using my headphones now because I was seeing that when Jay was speaking, it was picking up on my microphone when he was speaking. So I didn't want the audio files later on to kind of clash. So I was kind of looking that up. It was more that. And then I was just checking some important message on my phone that I was expecting for someone. So, but thanks for pointing that out. Please keep us accountable, both of us, if you see that we look distracted. Okay, so we've gone on for about like 25 minutes so far, and already we see a little bit what output does, what properties does, what explorer does, and what the main, you know, the stage basically where we can shift between script and place and everything. So let's go a little bit more in the explorer. Now there's a lot of stuff there, we don't have to look at everything, but I guess everything that you see on the place is encapsulated in some way there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got the main workspace, which I guess contains everything. There's a camera, there's a terrain, there's a spawn location, base plate, part, and script, which we added. There's
Mm-hmm.
players, lighting, materials. There's a lot of stuff there. I don't think we're going to get to everything in these sessions, but you can see that there's a lot that goes into this. Which one of these would you say are the most important for us in this course are going to be?
So the most important is going to be the workspace, because that's where every single physical object, you know, if you put anything inside of here. So let's say I move the part to something else like replicated sword shield. Notice that it's disappeared. I can't even click on it and it's not part of the game. So workspace is the most important here for this course specifically, because we're going to be changing a lot of the things inside of a workspace and accessing them from the workspace, since this is a beginner friendly course. And yeah, the rest of the stuff, it is important, but it comes on later in play. This does not mean that you need to know everything. You can, there's, you know, if there is a problem if there is a system or a specific game that you want to make on Roblox, it is not necessary that you have to know everything to be able to make it. You can somehow get it to work with the limited amount of resources. Like, let's say if we're only able to access workspace and let's say, you know, some other things, only 5 of these, we'll be able to make most of what we can imagine, you know. Obviously, that comes with a lot of generalization. I'm speaking in context of this beginner-friendly course.
Of course.
But yeah, so the workspace is the most important. And all of these other things, you know, they have their own benefits and they are important. Like, you wouldn't be able to make a game as easy if you didn't have them.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is good. So I'll go over the ones that I use the most, so that people can kind of get an idea of how it, you know, is like. So I use workspace a lot, obviously. And sometimes I use lighting. So it's not like I use it in every single game. Maybe I'll tweak it 1 or 2 times, but that's it. And the players I usually use, but inside of a script. So you can get these objects as well inside of a script, and they have specific functions, methods, properties that you can change. And you can notice that if I click on this, there's properties for this too. So essentially, what I can do is I can get the player's object inside of a script, and I can change some of these properties inside of a script. Right? I can change the respawn time, a lot of these things. But usually we don't do that, since these are not all of the things that we can change inside of the player's service. But yeah, anyways, so if we go down, I rarely ever use material service. I've only used it like 1 or 2 times in making a game. So this you can completely ignore for now. Replicated first I've used, but it's a little bit more advanced and it's a little bit more for optimization or specific things like, loading screens and whatnot. So this is a bit different. Don't have to worry about this as well. And replicated storage is something that is used a lot, but this comes in play when you know how to code, or at least a little bit, and you're learning how to communicate certain scripts with other scripts. You're learning how to make it so that this script can interact with the other script. So let's say there's 2 parts, and if I, go stand on this, it's gonna change some kind of like property, or it's going to update some sort of value inside of that part. Or maybe, if I stand on this, it's going to increase the player score that I have. So at that point in time, you need to learn how to make it so that you can communicate different scripts and data to each other so that everything can be, interconnected, and we can do a lot more cool stuff. So that's where replicated storage, server script service, server storage. It's a little bit complicated to why there's like 3 of them. You're like, what? Why are there 2 storages, and why are there all of these stuff when
Mhm.
you can put everything in one place? Well, that's also a little bit more complex.
Yeah.
That then you
We
dive into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I think it is more than enough for our things at our stage.
Hmm.
So I think we should start thinking about concluding the first stream because we don't want it to be too long, and we might do another first stream tomorrow in case we figure out that maybe this was a little bit different kind of structure. But in any case, you are still getting this, and we're still getting this
Hmm.
video. The last couple of seconds or minutes rather, I want to spend on asking the audience because we do have some people watching. Um, do you have anything that you would like us to cover over the next couple of days? This is the time to write it in the comments so that I can make a note of it and we can bake it into the plan that we have. Anything in particular that you would like us to cover? Write that in now. I guess we can I think maybe another way to start off, I guess, and we can try that tomorrow, is there was a lot of explanation today, which is, I think, good for people that like to go a little bit deeper. But
Hmm.
especially for 8, 9, 10 year olds that have just finished the course that I've done, I'm thinking maybe we can do another session where we just like build a bunch of stuff in the beginning without too much explanation so they feel like they're
Hmm.
getting the dopamine. So
Hmm.
we can do like trampolines and conveyor belts have been very popular, so I think we should just do that so we get that video recorded, and we can
Hmm.
kind of extract it out and make it into a little thing. And
Hmm.
then we have like several smaller things like that. We can just make a list of 10 different things, and we can just do that in like a timer based thing. I think the same way that I did it, the time before this time, where
Hmm.
we did like a 3 minute timer. I think that was pretty cool. We can do 5 minutes maybe,
Hmm.
and we just kind of run through those. I think that will create a little bit more structure. Scothe is saying explaining basic data types, functions, loops, events. So I think this is what I started to think as we were doing this, is that there's going to be a difference between the audience that we are making this for the kids, because they're going to be 8 to 13, but a lot of people watching this are older and maybe more into more advanced stuff. So we're going to have to strike a little balance between those, I guess. And
Hmm.
we can do something for both, obviously.
Yeah.
Creating your first obby game with stages, leader stats. Okay, nice. Thanks for that, Scothe. I'm going to make a note of that. Just take a little screenshot. And yeah, so I think we'll end it there. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, so we're going to be scheduling a couple of these going forward. We're probably going to do 45-minute sessions each, and we'll
Hmm.
stream up to 2, maybe 3 sometimes in the weekend, just so we can get through this as fast as possible, and then we'll see how we go. I'm very curious to see if the video files and everything were well, because we're going to see the mistakes that we're done there, because we spent all the time setting things up. So we might have to redo some stuff tomorrow. But I'm feeling pretty good about this now, because at least we're live today, which was my goal for today, was to actually go live and start this. So thank you so much, Jay, for joining.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone also for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for everyone. We have a small audience, but we got a lot of comments, which is always good. So, yeah, keep an eye on the scheduled live streams that we're going to be setting up, so you can get a little bit more of a head start on when we're going to do these, because we just kind of tend to just do these just right away. So, if you happen to be online, then you'll see it. But yeah, that's it for this time. Thank you so much for joining. And until next time, have a good time.
Bye bye.